Joined by Kuno Fencker, a Greenland MP. Mr. Fencker, thanks very much for being with us. Yesterday, there were some reports which suggested that if there was some sort of an American military presence in Greenland, which you disagreed with, the Danish government would react. Is that realistically something that might happen?
I think it will be the wrong move from Denmark. And you know the military size of the United States and the military size of Denmark. And even 70% of the budget and the military size of NATO is the American military. So Greenland is on the American continent, and it's a part of the Monroe Doctrine, which is a very geopolitical important area for the United States. There is a military air base we do fixed base in northwest Greenland, which is an American base, and where they survey eventual incoming missiles from Russia.
Yep.
But the shipping routes are opening up, so the security concern is understandable, but the rhetoric from the United States is not understandable.
And in terms of protests, are we seeing a lot of that in Greenland presently?
No, but we saw some protests in, I think it was in January last year, after the elections, the inauguration in the US, and people saying that we are not for sale and so forth, but the rhetoric is changing up and down from the United States. Hence, the Art of the Deal book from Donald Trump is absolutely on its, they are using that right now. So I think what we need to do from Greenland is keep our heads cool and talk with the Americans directly and hear about what is their concerns, what's their interest, and also what is it that they want realistically, instead of nobody's going to annex Greenland. You know, it's like people in Greenland will never accept a new annexation, which we are under right now from Denmark. And that's why the US is probably also questioning the right of the Kingdom of Denmark to keep Greenland.
Donald Trump wants to buy Greenland. That's a proposal which has been stated as well. Is that acceptable? Is your sovereignty up for sale?
No, it's not for sale. But right now we get a subsidy from Denmark, an annual subsidy, which is basically a purchase or rent of the island. So we also have to be, careful in regards to our own morals here. So I think in principle, no country should be on sale, but Greenland wants to be a sovereign state. We know we are a small population, a very big island, so we know that we can't be fully independent. But who is, in a way? We need to have allies, and those allies will still be, for example, the United States, NATO, Denmark, the European nations, and so forth, which are in our nearby vicinity allies.
Is there a growing willingness among people in Greenland, political leaders like you, that you do want to talk to America? You're not saying, I don't want to talk to you, please go away.
Of course, I would say that, in my opinion, I will always go the diplomatic way, because the only other way to do things is through military conflict. So we will, of course, go the diplomatic way. And that's also why I went to the inauguration in January last year to talk to the Americans, because the diplomatic way to talk to people is the best way to solve a eventual conflict coming up, or maybe if the Americans have some concerns in regards to their own security and national security and also international security, we have to address it so that we can amend eventually the defense agreement, which the United States have from 1951 with Denmark. But we amended it a little bit in 2004, where we sort of decreased the possibilities of the Americans in Greenland. We might have to remedy that and look upon what is it their concerns are, and work for Greenland's independence, but in cooperation with the states that are interested in Greenland.
No, but as I understand it, and you were talking about the 1951-1952 agreement, America has the right to build more military facilities and bases in Greenland. Isn't that right?
Not absolutely. The 51 agreement says that it's a possibility with the consent of Denmark, but we made some amendments in 2004 that has limited the access to Greenland. And it also says that the only defense area the United States have is the fixed base. So we have to act upon what are the facts and read what are the agreements and the law. So we will have to adhere to that so that people don't say things that the United States can do whatever they want. It's not true.
I understand, Greenland's identity, but is Greenland firmly with Denmark and Mette Frederiksen in this entire situation?
I will say from my party's side, we don't want to be de facto annexed by Denmark anymore. We don't want to be de facto a colony anymore. We want to be our own independent state with our own identity, with our own citizenship. And Greenlanders should own Greenland, not Denmark and not the United States. So Mette Frederiksen has a moral problem, in my opinion, because Denmark is supposed to be a democratic country, but they still have a king. Their constitution is only about the king and king and king. Not even once democracy is mentioned. So what we need is that we are in 2026. They colonized us in 1721, and they denied us our Compact of Free Association in 2009. And now I think it's time for Denmark to reckon, or Greenland get some reckoning in regards to our rights as in international law to get into a sovereign state, but in cooperation with the US and also Denmark for that sake.
But Mr. Fencker, the timing of what you're stating now, it sort of comes at a time when America is making all these claims. Do you believe that this is the most opportune time for you to be in a situation where you get the sovereignty that you seek?
Absolutely, because with no urgency, no change is happening. We have seen that for over 300 years now. And now the opportunity of the urgency created by the United States is giving us the opportunity and gives us some negotiation leverage. And I can also say that I'm right here in Tórshavn in the Faroe Islands. And they told me that they will actually go to Denmark in January because they want to have an independent state too, because they can't be members of the WTO, World Trade Organization, or their handball team can't compete in the Olympics because they are not a sovereign state. So there are some issues here that are both in regards to our identity, but also our citizenship, our right to our own lands that needs to be reckoned.
Okay. And a final question to you. Do you represent a minority view in Greenland, or do most Greenlanders feel that they don't want to talk to Donald Trump at all at this stage?
I think there has been a lot of panic because you can see the tactics of the United States is like they are saying one thing and another thing, and many politicians are saying things, and a lot of media has also fear-mongered about the United States and also painting them a enemy picture. So that is, in my opinion, wrong. I think we have to be diplomatic. I think the people of Greenland will understand at some point that we need to get out of our hiatus. We are not an ostrich hiding in the ground. We need to get our head up and also act like a sovereign state and talk to the states that are interested in us.
Mr. Fencker, you didn't answer my question. I was asking you, do you represent a majority view in Greenland?
I can't say, but I will say that I will do my utmost so that people understand.
All right. Kuno Fencker, MP from Greenland, thank you very much for speaking to us and sharing your views. Thanks very much indeed.